Well, what happened was that as I say, I rushed out and I got all this paper. And I thought it was going to be the easiest thing in the world. You see, I had all these marvellous stories. I was in a unique position, I thought, to tell about animals, which everybody was interested in. And to me, it seemed a mere question of shoving it down on a bit of paper and sending it off to an editor who was going to leap about with delight, you see. And then I read them, and it was just terrible. You see, with all my reading of the classics and my interest in English at school and all this sort of thing, I wrote down a very good school essay, you see, and that's what it was. Nobody in the right mind would ever have paid a penny to read this sort of stuff. And I had to fight like mad to develop the style which I have now, which is conversational. Because after all, I'm not flattering myself I'm a literary giant or anything like that. I'm writing about fundamental things to some people, but to the outside world, it's pretty light stuff. Therefore, it's no use writing it as though it was Macaulay, who was another great idol of mine, and I think Macaulay's style was the nearest to what my original was, you know, long, balanced sentences with beautiful adjectives. Bore the pants off anybody. And as I say, I had to start to learn to write.
And how did you set about that? Did you just... Did you read any other...
Oh, yes, I read it up. I'm a great man for doing that. Whatever I take up, I read everything I can about that. I bought every book on writing I could possibly find. And I'm sure they all did a bit of good, but the best exercise was writing itself. I threw this thing away from me in disgust, and I started to write short stories, articles, everything like that.
For yourself?
Oh, no, I sent them away to periodicals, newspapers, magazines, the BBC. There's nobody who hasn't had a short story from James Herriot, and everyone came back by return of post. Not a single one was ever accepted.
That must be the most encouraging thing that's been said on this programme for about 15 years.
Do you think
or
so?
On television, yes. I'm sure that people never believe that somebody like yourself could ever have anything in his life rejected.
Well, believe me, another thing, I never even had a little thing saying, you show promise. I mean, other people were doing this at the same time, and they're saying, well, you know, this is not bad, but mine came bunging straight back with just the printed rejection slip, you see. I never saw anything return so fast as these stories. And I send them regularly into the BBC, you know, this short story every morning, which I listen to on my radio. And I worked it out so carefully, you know, the right number of words, double spacing, and I typed it all out. I sweated blood. But no, I got nowhere.
What you're describing in a way is an apprenticeship, also a sort of purgatory. How long did this go on? How long were you an unpublished writer?
This is purgatory. This is a mild expression, yes. Well, I mean, Hemingway, I'm not comparing myself with Hemingway, don't think that, but reading one of his autobiographical pieces, he said that he used to sit down and cry, and he was a great tough man if ever there was one. And I often felt like that, because one hears about the sickening thud of a manuscript coming through your letterbox every morning. I became a connoisseur of that, and I knew by the clean way that the thing was that it hasn't been very carefully read, that they'd only got past the first few paragraphs and decided it was no good at all.
It's no way to be woken up when you're living in beautiful countryside. This is by the thud of a returned manuscript.
It was a terrible start to the day. I'm sure my secretary used to wonder why I looked so gloomy, because I always used to put me right down in the dumps. Even though, as I say, I have no high-flown ideas about myself, but one likes to be accepted in a thing like that.
To get back to the start of your career as a writer, though, the manuscripts are still coming through rejected. How long did that go on? How long did you manage to... How long did you have to put up with that?
This period in purgatory, which you so beautifully described, yes, that must have gone on for about a year, I would reckon, yes. When I had these awful experiences every morning.
Did you keep thinking about giving up?
Oh, yes, and then it suddenly dawned on me what was wrong. And I was writing short stories and articles about everything except the only thing I knew anything about, which is veterinary practice. You see, I was so disgusted and appalled by my first efforts at writing my veterinary experiences, thought I could never even return to it. It was a sort of obscene thing, you see. But anyway, I thought, now I've learned a bit, I've been through the mill, and I think I can write better. So I pulled this pile of stuff out that I'd written, this terrible Macaulay-like prose, and I had another go at it. And that year of just reading and trying changed me from just being a school essayist to the type of writer I am now.